ॐ स्थापकाय च धर्मस्य सर्वधर्मस्वरूपिणे अवतारवरिष्ठाय रामकृष्णाय ते नमः. We will be continuing with the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. We saw various phases of devotion, how to cultivate love of God, and the various ways Sri Ramakrishna wanted us to develop that love of God. First one was to sing the names and glories of God. Second one was to seek the satsanga, company of holy men. Third what we saw was to enter into solitude whenever it is possible, now and then, even for a day, if not long. And we saw the various ways by which we increase from the smallest degree of few seconds to the largest, to sit for days in search of the inner truth, to transcend all limitations and go beyond to the state of perfection, that is entering into samadhi sthiti. We searched all these, and the last one we have been directed by Sri Ramakrishna is to do intense prayer, tivra prarthana. What is this prarthana? Prarthana is just praying, artha, prarthana. The artha is to seek or entreat God, entreat wholeheartedly, prarthana, prapurvak, prakrishtena, as if you are drawing out from God something. Please give me, entreating. So, prarthana itself is seeking deeply. Tivra prarthana means when your heart, the whole heart, is feeling that vyakulata, longing, yearning, to the extent as if you cannot live without it. This kind of seeking, I want it, without it I cannot live. That kind. Even if it is artificially created for small period of short time, is also sufficient. Because all the time we have many things to keep us forgetful of our state of existence. We forget we are in deep waters. Every moment I am nearing death. Everything is going to end. My story is going to end. What is going to happen in future, I don't know. What was my past, I don't know. So I have to attain a state where I have transcended this nature. Nature transcendence includes, or specifically or precisely, it means transcending birth and death. I am entering into life eternal. My life is continuing independent of my birth and death. With death, life doesn't end. Life continues without a physical body till I acquire a physical body again. So, life is a continuous existence. The moment I entered into this creation universe from the transcendental realm, I entered into relative existence, that my life began, and it passes through many wearing of clothes and throwing away, which I call taking birth and death. I put on this bodily existence. I grow with it, and body has its limitation because the universe in which I am trapped, I have come into existence, is constantly changing flux. And change has to be cyclic because within the time and space, everything is limited. Time and space, it is limited. Beyond time and space is unlimited. From unlimited, beyond time and space, I have entered into the time and space realm. From the absolute, I have come into the relative, and I am moving about in the relative. Now, the moment I come into relative, I see everything is limited. But everything gives a sense of eternity because it is going through cyclic process. The time is cyclic and everything. I sleep, I wake up. I am passing through Jagrat Swapna Sushupti. Again I am coming to waking state. I am entering into dream state, deep sleep where I don't have my existence known to myself. And I come to the waking state again. So this cyclic, water falls as rain, limited water in this universe. On this earth itself, you see, let us not consider whole universe. This global existence of ours, rain falls. It flows down, joins together as river, reaches the ocean, again evaporates. Fresh water, clean and from all the dirt it has taken, the dirt is left behind and the water alone is taken up and it falls again. Fresh water is given, it becomes dirty, it carries away all the dirt and again evaporates, leaving all things. Similarly is our life. We come on this earth pure and unstained because mind is pure, body is pure, new things are given, but old samskaras are there. The water that flows, oxygen, hydrogen formation and everything is, it is nature. Nature is also continuing to evaporate at a particular temperature, to condense in a particular temperature, to become solid in a particular temperature. It undergoes, it has nature. Similarly, we have our nature, two natures, one acquired nature and another is my real nature. Real nature is the self, the Atman, and the acquired nature is what creates the bodily existence, and I'm flowing with it. I have to, if I dissolve my momentum, the acquired nature, I know my real nature as Atman. The two natures have the acquired, and the acquired is forcing me to take the body and mind. The vasanas, vasana kshaya itself is Atma Jnana. The acquired nature, if it dissolves, my real nature remains. So the whole effort, I have to drop away. Now each birth, I am dropping away the temporarily acquired things. I am not overcoming the tendencies I have, but what I have gained. Suppose I am learning music, the learning music will go away. The acquired. I can sing beautifully. I know the various ragas. All this will be forgotten. The tendency to learn music again and sing continues. This also has to dissolve to know myself as the Atman, immortal being, untouched by anything. I am the ocean of bliss myself. The ocean of bliss is within. The peace is within. The love is within. To spread into the whole universe and be the universe closed, being one with all lives. I am there in every life, experiencing the joys and sorrows. I am with the nature. I am with all things. I am the divine. pervading everything. To that extent, I must be I must be one with the transcendental, I must be one with the relative existence. That is possible only when I drop away all my acquired nature and my only real nature alone remains. Now, when I pray, prayer is when this whole being, the heart is the place where the eternal is touching the relative existence of mind. The acquired nature is holding, like a baby holding. The acquired nature is holding the real nature. Real nature is just supporting, being unaffected by it. Now, the smell flows with the air. Air is carrying it, but air is not getting affected. It is temporarily there holding it. The smell is holding, smell is being carried, it drops away. When it is there also, it is not affected. Space, fire is there, water is there. Fire doesn't limit space. It doesn't cut down space. It doesn't burn space. It is fire, it burns everything, but doesn't burn this space. Space is unaffected, but it has given room for the fire to exist within it. Without space, it cannot exist. Like that, the Atman has given the accommodation for my bodily existence to remain, and it is continuing. Now it has to drop away. Now the intense prayer is to the transcendental realm that assists, helps to release from the vasana. The whole my being must be longing for it. When the innermost core weeps for release, this I will drop away. I am praying myself, I must be passing through. When the longing is there, it penetrates to all my being, my various layers. The spirituality is where all differences, external and internal differences, dissolve. And divinity is where all things unite and become one with it. Divinity is where all things unite and my bodily existence, this, that, everything is getting united and disappearing in the divinity. Divinity is what spreads, what pervades everything. Then you see the divinity is manifested as this universe and all things. My mind is divine, my body is divine. Because the moment it loses the acquired tendencies, you see that everything is divine. You have become divine. The divinity, which is transcendental, eternal existence, touching where it touches the relative, is divinity, the first touch. Then one by one, layer comes into existence. That divine, I am trying to manifest through prayer. What happens is your innermost core is opening up to the divine. One is you are flowing out through prayer. You are stretching yourself to hold, and from there you'll see it is flowing down into you. The grace is flowing, the divine is flowing into you, and you are stretching yourself. And when they touch each other, this is possible when you become unaware of so much longing that you are unaware of you see, even in small things, we forget ourselves. Children seeing the TV, forget their body, forget they are in the world. Whole thing is forgotten. Just that much of concentration, that much of absorption, like children watching TV, in which they are too much interested. They are unaware of people coming and going in their front. Mother calling, nothing disturbs them. They are absorbed. That much of absorption in prayer can come only when there is longing. Longing is expression of your heart. Heart joining the prayer. We understand our situation, and with that understanding of my situation, usually what happens is suffering, problems, this, that come in life. And also I feel a certain amount of saturation in my enjoyments. I want to end with this, enough, enough. But the real thing, because of the problem and suffering I am trying to escape and go beyond, or I am feeling the uncertainty, impermanency of the world, and I want permanent things. I want eternal joy, eternal peace. Is it that what is making me seek? If it is the avoiding problem, avoiding difficulty, the prayer comes from the mind, from the intellect, from the external being of my, oh, I don't want this, I don't want suffering, I don't want bondage, I don't want these problems of life. This comes from the intellect and external. Oh, I want eternal peace. I want eternal bliss. The eternity seeking comes a little deeper from my existence as if it is projecting out. It is what we call heart. Heart is that spiritual heart to awaken. The feeling heart is supporting. When the heart speaks, when my heart prays, the intellect and mind become silent. They don't interfere. They don't calculate. I want you. Why? I love you. I seek you. Out of love, out of understanding of this world as temporary passing, with death, what is going to happen? All these understandings are different. This is Viveka, supported by Viveka, the discriminative power. What this world is, what I am seeking. Momentary pleasures of life, I don't want. They are there. I have plenty. I am not satisfied with these momentary pleasures of life. I want eternal peace, eternal, because as I grow old, all these are going to end. These are pleasures, sense pleasures. Sense is going to become weak. Mind is going to become weak, and it is going to lose all the memories. Up to the dementia, body is going to become weak. It will start trembling down. Where is the enjoyment? Where is the... At that time, I will be having the inner security, inner bliss, inner peace, unaffected by the bodily condition, unaffected by the external situations of life. I am independent. Whether body exists or not, I am not bothered. The world is not, I am not seeking anything from the world, because this world is passing events. You pass, just whatever you are experiencing is only passing events of life. I want something beyond that, beyond this world, beyond my bodily existence. I have to enter into the eternity. So this understanding comes, this longing, independent of external situations, independent of my possessions and all things, independent of the problems that I am facing. Do I seek God? Do I seek something eternal? Then it is heart praying. This prayer of the heart is what should we call the intense praying, Tivra Prarthana. Prarthana itself is something entreating God, asking for something. The one thing we must understand is that what we are seeking, from whom am I seeking? I am seeking from God. You see, it must not be, He must be the supreme and ultimate. Otherwise, the lower powers that are giving me, I must have the understanding God is the ultimate and supreme, unchallenged. Otherwise, if it is challenged, the higher power can snatch away my freedom, my love, my whatever I possess, whatever I am seeking, the desires of my heart of heart, what I am desiring can be, if it is temporary, whatever I get from lower, it will be temporary. One of the educationalists from our place went many years back, perhaps a decade or more before, maybe 15, 20 years back, went to Delhi for a permission. Every year in those days, they had to take permission for a few students they had kept and they were educating. For higher classes, means the public examinations like matriculation, from middle school to high school, there will be public exam. For a public exam, though they are privately educated with great interest and dedication, if suppose if 20 students I am able to keep, I train them nicely to appear for, because they are collective, we have to take the permission of the education department. And there will be a particular place where it was Delhi, because it was higher CBSE courses. So they went to Delhi as usual time, and the after they will announce these people can approach the government. And in those days there is no computerized system that they can upload their demands and requests. Those were not there. So they have to personally go. And the announcing and personally going, they had kept the time limit. And by the time they booked their ticket, they went. It was 2 days later than the time specified for the last date for application was this. Now the 20 students are here waiting for the permission. If permission is not given, they are going to lose their 1 year. What a precious thing for the students. How these people will answer their parents. They went, and the person who was in charge of this has started scolding. We have other business, other works to do. Don't disturb us. You should have come 2 days before. Nothing can be done now. You go out. And he was so uncourteous and harsh that he could not approach him by any means. No, you take this and go away. This application. Then he scratched on this application and gave it back. And he did not have that person who went, taken the responsibility of so many children, poor children, giving them food, education, and all that, sacrificing for them, was in tears. Oh, what will I do now? This scene was seen by his superior. Then he came down and asked, what is the problem? Then he said, see, my application, I came 2 days late because I had to come from Bangalore to Delhi. I had to pass through so many, this one, I had to rebook my tickets. And time given was only 15 days within you have to submit. And 15 days within, I could not reach for various reasons. And 2 days late and the authority was sitting above that person who refused this, who was in the counter, who refused, scratched his application and gave back. To him, that superior person told, see, this last date has been fixed, not because it is the last date. It is to assist you. You are getting so many applications, you have to process it. It is for your sake the last date we have fixed. If it is 2 days, 3 days later, we have time. The examination setting is to come after 1 month. We have 1 month time. You have been given 1 month time to finish your work of a few people like this. And to assist you, we have kept this date. We need not keep this date at all, last date. If they come any time within that month, we have given 15 days time for you extra. You have from the last date, you have 1 more month. This has been fixed for your convenience, not for their convenience. If by chance, unavoidable circumstances, somebody comes late, a day or two, even if it is 1 week late, you have the time to work out this one. Then he had nothing to say. He requested to rewrite the application and give. Now you see, there is a higher power. He has the more responsibility, more. Now, I seek something from somebody, and if it is given or not given, there is still a higher authority who can control, guide. So when we seek from God, He is the ultimate, unchallenged, ultimate authority to give, to erase all. And He alone has the power to alter our karma, remove our karma, destroy our karma. No other power has the... now that officer could have changed even the exam timings, date. He can postpone for the sake of even one person. He can postpone the exam by 1 week. Suppose some calamity happens, something happens. They have the power to extend or postpone the exam also. But none of these people have the powers to postpone the exam. Now you see, the ultimate authority has that power to do and undo anything. They might have made a law, rule, and there is a person who can give exemption from that law also. And to the extent he can call the student privately and ask to write the exam in his presence and give the paper separately. Independent of all these examination, he can mark the person with, yes, you can continue. Because it is life of that student which the government has to assist ultimately. Like that, God is the final authority. Each time we say God or pray, two things we must remember. He is the ultimate refuge for us, ultimate refuge. He can do and undo anything. What all karmas I have done, lives after lives, He alone can erase. What all vasanas, samskaras I have acquired, He alone can erase. And to Him I surrender. To Him I pray. To Him I give myself. And He is absolute. The second thing you must remember is He is absolute. No limitation of any type. When we say God, He has no limitation. If a single limitation is there, then all other comes as personal God and impersonal absolute. In the impersonal absolute, there is no differences. There is no limitation. It is unlimited. It is eternal. It is pure existence. It is pure consciousness. It is love, ocean of love, of unlimited sources. So this, a limitation dropping away, then we, for my sake, He takes all the limitation and approaches me because I am limited. He comes as limited as my personal God. The personal God, I pray to the personal God, keeping in awareness. He is absolute. He has come with name, form, and qualities as merciful, as all these qualities are of the personal God, not of the impersonal absolute. There are no qualities, there are no kind of limitation in that. He becomes limited. He takes the form of limited for my sake, for our sake, because we are limited, to lift us from all limitations, to break all the limitations, give back our lost identity of being Atman, that He comes with form and all limitations. That we call the personal God. Still more deeper when we go. He comes in human form to lift the humanity. The whole human race, when it goes away from pure spirituality and go more and more towards the materialism, bodily enjoyments, then the same absolute, which is unlimited, takes the limited form of human, yielding to his own powers, and we call it avatara. We see for the modern times, for modern age, we see Sri Ramakrishna, God coming down as Sri Ramakrishna to lift the mankind, for to help all the thing that has the dharma samsthapana, to transform the image, transform the world. What we are seeking ultimately, the God too seeks, is one world of love, peace, and harmony. That is what is longing. That, see, the one thing in prayer, when you are praying, you must include yourself, the entire world, so that you are one with the nature. Each time you pray deeply from the heart of your hearts, you are expanding your heart to include all other jivas, unconsciously, unknowingly, because longing comes from the heart. Heart is one common existence. Mind is one. We have fenced our mind and appearing just like space. Space is unlimited. It is not, space is akhanda. We take it as khanda. My space, your space. Space is akhanda. Like that, mind is akhanda. But I take some amount of mind as my mind. When I remove the boundary of my mind, mind is, I can enter anybody's mind. So mind is one. Because I put bodily existence, matter is one. The whole universe is one. That appears as the spirituality is where we dissolve our differences. Divine is where we unite and find them our roots of existence as one manifesting as many. So we will continue with in the next class about the prayer. Om Niranjanam Nityamanantarupam Bhaktanukampa Dhritavigraham Vai Ishavataram Parameshamidhyam Tam Ramakrishnam Shirasa Namah.